The night was cold enough to make bones ache. Jack sat on the edge of the sidewalk, his old jacket barely keeping him warm. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. People passed by, pretending not to see him. That was normal. He had become invisible, just another lost soul on the streets. But that night, something different happened. A shiny black car stopped right in front of him. The kind of car that looked too expensive to even touch. The door opened, and out stepped a woman in a long red coat and high heels that clicked sharply on the pavement. She looked powerful, but her eyes told another story, eyes full of sadness and fear. "Are you Jack?" she asked softly. Jack blinked, confused. "Do I know you?" "No," she said. "But I know you're the one I need." He frowned. "Ma'am, I think you've got the wrong guy." She shook her head. "No, I don't." Then she took a deep breath, her hands trembling. "I need you to marry me." Jack almost laughed. He thought it was a joke. "Marry you? Lady, I sleep under bridges. You drive cars that cost more than my whole life." "I know," she said, voice cracking. "And that's exactly why I need you." The street went silent. Even the wind seemed to stop for a moment. Jack looked around, wondering if this was some kind of cruel prank. But the woman's eyes, they were wet. Real tears. "I'm not crazy," she whispered. "I'm a mother. My name is Sophia Grant. I have a son, and I'm running out of time." Something inside Jack softened. She looked desperate. Not in the way rich people fake it, but like someone drowning in her own secrets. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Because," she said, stepping closer, "you have nothing to lose, and I have everything to protect." Before Jack could reply, she opened her purse, pulled out a wedding ring, and placed it in his hand. The diamond sparkled under the streetlight like it was laughing at him. "Please," she whispered, almost begging, "say yes." And for the first time in years, Jack's empty world began to spin again, faster than he ever imagined. The next morning felt like waking up inside someone else's life. Jack stood in front of a mirror, wearing clean clothes for the first time in years. The soft cotton shirt, the smell of soap, the warmth of the room, it all felt too good to be real. He half expected someone to burst in and tell him it was a mistake. Sophia's mansion looked like a castle. Every corner gleamed. Every wall told stories of money and taste. But beneath all that beauty, something felt off. At breakfast, the long table was filled with more food than he'd seen in months. Pancakes, fruits, bacon, eggs. Everything he used to dream of when he was hungry on the streets. Yet he couldn't enjoy a single bite. Not when Sophia's son kept staring at him. The boy, Ethan, about 10 years old, didn't smile once. His sharp blue eyes studied Jack like he was a thief who'd broken in. "You're not my dad," Ethan said flatly. Jack put down his fork. "You're right, kid. I'm not trying to be." Sophia looked up quickly. "Ethan, that's enough," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Jack is going to be part of this family now." Ethan crossed his arms. "You said that before, and he left too." Jack looked between them. There was a story behind those words, a painful one, but he didn't dare ask. Later that day, a man in a suit came to the mansion. Tall, strict-looking. He handed Sophia a brown envelope and whispered something in her ear. Her smile faded for a moment before she quickly forced it back on. "Everything all right?" Jack asked when the man left. Sophia nodded too fast. "Just business. Don't worry about it." But Jack did worry. Every time Sophia's phone rang, she stepped outside to answer. Every time Ethan spoke, she looked away. The housekeeper avoided eye contact. Even the guards at the gate seemed tense. That night, Jack stood by the window staring at the city lights. He had warmth, food, and shelter. But something about all this felt like walking into a trap. Then he heard Sophia's voice behind him, soft and tired. "Thank you for saying yes." Jack turned to her. "You still haven't told me why." She looked at him for a long time before whispering, "Because sometimes the people with nothing are the ones who can save everything." But the fear in her eyes told him he wasn't saving anyone. He was about to lose himself in something far darker. 2 days later, Jack found himself sitting in a huge office inside Sophia's mansion. The walls were covered in gold frames, and the smell of expensive perfume hung in the air. A man in a dark suit sat across from him, Sophia's lawyer, Mr. Brooks. On the table were several papers, all neat, all official-looking. "Just sign here," Mr. Brooks said, pointing at the last page. Jack frowned. "What exactly am I signing?" Sophia, standing beside the lawyer, smiled softly. It's just to make our marriage legal, Jack. You'll have my name, my protection, and a fresh start. Her words were warm, but her hands, the way they twisted slightly, told another story. She looked nervous, almost guilty. Jack picked up the pen but hesitated. You sure this is all about marriage? There's a lot of pages here. Mr. Brooks' expression didn't change. Standard paperwork, prenup, insurance, legal ownership. Ownership? That word echoed in Jack's mind like thunder. He looked at Sophia again. I can't even read all this legal talk. You sure I can trust it? Sophia stepped closer, placing her hand gently on his shoulder. Trust me, Jack, I wouldn't hurt you. Her voice cracked slightly, like a truth trying to hide behind a lie. Jack sighed and signed. That night, the mansion glittered with celebration. The staff cheered. Sophia wore a smile that looked painted on. Ethan sat quietly staring at Jack as if trying to solve a puzzle. When everyone went to bed, Jack wandered the halls. He couldn't sleep. Something about the papers kept bothering him. He passed Sophia's study and noticed a faint light under the door. Curiosity got the better of him. He peeked through the small gap and froze. Sophia stood by her desk, talking to Mr. Brooks on the phone. Her voice was low, sharp. Yes, it's done. He signed everything. He won't suspect a thing. Jack's heart sank. His stomach twisted. He stepped back quietly, afraid to breathe. When Sophia hung up, she opened a hidden drawer in her desk and pulled out a black folder. Inside, Jack caught a glimpse of his own name, written in bold letters on the first page. His hands trembled. What did I just sign? The woman who gave him food, shelter, and hope was hiding something dangerous, and his name was right in the middle of it. Jack couldn't sleep that night. The sound of the ticking clock grew louder, heavier, almost as if it was counting down to something. He replayed Sophia's words in his head. He won't suspect a thing. By morning, his hand still shook. He had to know the truth. While Sophia and Ethan were out for a meeting, Jack slipped into her study. The black folder was still there, hidden behind old books. His heart raced as he opened it. The first page made his knees weak. It was a report, one that claimed Jack Grant, his new name after marriage, was responsible for a massive fraud involving Sophia's company. Documents were forged, signatures faked, and every trail led to him. His heart pounded. This can't be real, he whispered. But it was. There were bank accounts under his new name, property transfers, and digital proof, all created the day he signed those papers. Sophia hadn't saved him. She had set him up. Jack slammed the folder shut and stumbled back, feeling the world crash around him. Just then, the door creaked open. Sophia stood there holding a cup of coffee. Her face went pale when she saw the folder in his hands. So, Jack said quietly, this is what you needed me for. She didn't deny it. Tears welled up in her eyes. Jack, please, listen to me. Why? He snapped. You took a man with nothing and made him your scapegoat. Sophia dropped the cup. It shattered on the floor. I didn't want to hurt you, she cried. I was desperate. Desperate? He shouted. You could have asked for help, not a husband to destroy. Sophia covered her face, sobbing. You don't understand. They were going to take my company, my son, everything I built. I had no choice but to hide the blame under a new name. Yours. Jack's chest tightened. He saw the fear in her. Not greed, but panic. Still, it didn't excuse what she'd done. You used me, he said bitterly. All that kindness was just bait. Sophia looked up, tears streaming down her cheeks. I did, but I didn't expect to care about you. I thought you'd be gone before the truth mattered. Jack turned toward the door. You should have picked someone else. Jack, please, she cried, reaching for him. If you walk away now, they'll kill us both. You're in this as deep as I am. He stopped. The fear in her voice wasn't fake this time. And for the first time, Jack realized this wasn't over. It was only just beginning. Jack stood frozen, Sophia's words echoing in his head. They'll kill us both. He wanted to walk away, but something in her voice stopped him. Fear. Real fear. Who's coming, Sophia? He asked, his tone low and shaking. She looked toward the window, eyes wide. The people I borrowed from. Dangerous men. They helped me save my company years ago. Now they want everything, and if I don't deliver, they'll come for Ethan next. Jack's anger dimmed, replaced by a sinking feeling. So you made me your shield. Sophia nodded, tears falling. I thought if I pinned the blame on a stranger, they'd let us go. but I never planned on you being kind. You made me feel human again. Jack rubbed his face, torn between rage and pity. You used me, Sophia. You fed me, dressed me, made me believe I mattered, all while signing my life away. I know, she whispered, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it right. Before Jack could answer, a loud bang echoed through the mansion. The front door slammed open. Men in dark coats stormed in. Ethan screamed from upstairs. Jack's instincts kicked in. He grabbed Sophia's hand and pulled her toward the back exit. We're not dying here, he said. They ran through the garden as headlights flashed behind them. One of the men shouted, "Stop them!" Bullets shattered the night air. Jack pushed Sophia behind a marble wall, breathing hard. Why are you helping me? She cried. After everything I did? Jack looked at her, eyes filled with something between pain and strength. Because I was once the man nobody helped. I won't be that kind of person. With every ounce of courage left in him, Jack distracted the men, leading them away while Sophia escaped with Ethan. Hours later, the police arrived, called by Sophia, who finally confessed everything. When they found Jack, he was hurt but alive. Days passed. Sophia's company crumbled, but the truth came out. Jack was innocent. She faced charges but begged the court to free him. Months later, Jack visited her at the small house she rented after losing everything. She opened the door, eyes tired but grateful. I don't expect forgiveness, she said. Jack smiled faintly. Good, because I'm not here to forgive. I'm here to start over. Sophia blinked. Start over? He nodded. This time no lies. Just two broken people trying to fix what's left. A soft wind blew between them. Not rich, not poor, just human. And as they stood there, the world finally felt quiet again.